Close, but no cigar. Yo, what up, everyone? It's your boy Debo with Debo's Picks. I'm going to recap my plays from last night's NBA games, as well as go over my plays for tonight's Thursday night football and NBA games. So let's get right into it. Starting off with my first 5-player flex that I gave out, consisting of Dame Lillard going over 12.5 first half points. He obviously did his thing. Then we got PJ Washington going under 11.5 PRA. What's crazy about this is 10 seconds left in the first half. What does PJ do? He gets a steal, throws the ball down the court to his teammate for a wide open layup to end the first half. That assist put him over. Yeah, that sucked. Then we have Mike Conley. Apparently, Mike didn't do a damn thing. 0 points in the first half, of course. Then we have Freddie Van Vliet going over 9.5 points for the first half. He did his thing. And then we have Anthony Davis going over 10.5 points for the first half. He did his thing. So again, 3 out of 5. That seems to be the trend for us for the past week, and I am trying my damnedest to shake it off. But anyway, we move on. Next 5-player flex that I gave out consisted of Dame Lillard going over his first half points at 12.5. He obviously did his thing. Freddie Van Vliet went over his points for the first half. Then the dopest name in the game, OG Anunoby, going over his fantasy score. Not even a doubt. Anthony Davis going over 10.5 first half points. He obviously did his thing. And then that leaves us with Zubac. Now, in my defense, I'm an East Coast guy. I live in New York. So I do not watch how Zubac plays in the paint. I just know that by the numbers, he is a force when it comes to grabbing rebounds and getting in the paint. And obviously, it was a perfect matchup for him. You got Zubac, who's inside the top 5 in the league this year in rebounds per game. And then you're going up against a team, the Lakers, who give up the most rebounds per game to opposing teams. So what does that tell you? Exactly. Now, I did watch the game because obviously I had a rooting interest with Anthony Davis and Zubac. So I watched the game and I stayed up pretty damn there all the way to the end until I realized he wasn't going to make it happen. Now, Zubac, I see what kind of rebounder he is. He can box you out, no problem. His problem is the dude must have small-ass hands because when he was grabbing rebounds, the opposing team, usually it was a shooting guard or a small forward, came from behind and knocked the ball out of his hands, so the rebound didn't count. And that happened 4 times in the game. 4 times. And then there were times where the ball was pretty much going towards him, and instead of just going to grab it, he allowed one of his teammates to just pick up the ball, and they get credit for the rebound. So he's not a guy that's going to chase the ball around. I didn't know that. But he is a pretty big force in the paint, boxing you out, trying to get that pretty much that board that pretty much just falls right to him. So, that really sucks. So I see what kind of rebounder he is. He's not the most athletic, I guess, when it comes to doing that. Maybe he's just not as ambitious as I thought he was. I thought he was a guy that just kind of takes over the entire, front court, right in the paint, just kind of just grabbing everything that comes his way or near him, but not the case. And he needs to seriously get his damn paws on that ball and grip the hell out of it because you can't have these smaller cats coming from behind you and knocking the ball out simultaneously as you're trying to grab the rebound. You're a big man, bro. Come on, eat that. But it is what it is, So 4 out of 5 and 3 out of 5. So technically, not a terrible night, but not a great night by any stretch. And I am so sick of this falling just short of a sweep or, something not breaking our way. I know that's part of the game, but man, this has been happening way too often. And it's something we got to shake, and we need to do that starting with tonight's picks. So let's get right into it. Now, I have 2 5-player flexes. Now, I'm going to go with the first one. It's going to be a mix between NBA and Thursday Night Football. And it's going to start with Tyrese Maxey going over 11.5 first half points against Atlanta. Those guards, like I say, they don't defend. They're coming off a back-to-back in Atlanta. Tyrese Maxey is obviously going to be the de facto James Harden, which means he's going to be even more involved in the offense because he's going to be bringing the ball up. So I love Maxey going over this. And then I got Tobias Harris over his PRA, 13.5. Again, no James Harden. So his stock increases, and he's got a good matchup as Atlanta Hawks do not guard power forwards really well. And Tobias can definitely get some boards too. And then we go to Joel Embiid. Again, the James Harden effect. He's not there. Joel Embiid, the focal point of the offense. And again, the front court of Atlanta cannot handle big men. A la Harris, as I mentioned. Now you got Embiid. Forget about it. 28.5 going over on that. Again, Atlanta on the back-to-back too. Keep that in mind. Then we got Marcus Mariota going over 29.5 rush yards. I love this one for him. They're going to be running the ball a lot. You know, he prefers to run than pass. Going up against Carolina, they obviously are pretty much damn near the bottom of the league in defending the run. And he played him a couple of nights ago, or I should say a couple of weeks ago, and he did his thing. So I expect this to be easily eclipsed. Now, Young Hoku, I love the pick, and that was before I found out that there's a damn, I don't know, tropical storm / hurricane, and apparently the Carolinas are going to get touched up a bit as the game goes on tonight. That may affect him kicking, and I really didn't factor that in. So I'm not as confident at this point in him getting over this, because I'm not sure if they're going to just go for it on fourth down because of the weather. Maybe it's too windy. I don't know. I'm stuck with it, so I'm going to have to ride with it. So if you wanted to slide in somebody else in there, go ahead and do that. I would probably look at maybe Cordell Patterson's fantasy score. That's a safe one for me. I think it's at 11.5. I would probably swap it out for that. So I'm going to just stick with it. I'm going to ride with it. It is what it is. But I just want to give you out a heads up out of courtesy. So then my final 5-player flex would be Marcus Mariota going over his rush yards at 29.5. Phillip Walker going over his rush yards at 6.5. Now, mind you, I know he's not that scrambler type. However, going back to the weather, not sure they're going to be able to throw the ball as much either. So I expect him to tuck it and run, get a few yards over the period of the game. So I expect him to do this with ease. Young Hoku, again, I'm stuck with him. I made these picks before I knew about this damn storm. So 1.5. You can maybe swap that out and put an NBA player in. I definitely would attack Tyrese Maxey. Maybe his total points for the game, I believe it's at 23.5. You can take the over on that. Or you can do his first half points, 11.5 over. You can look at that. But anyway, moving on. Cordell Patterson, 11.5 fantasy points on the over. And lastly, Tyler Algieri. Give me him going over 32.5 rush yards. I think there's going to be a lot of running going on tonight because of the rain. So I expect these guys to get a lot of touches in Cordell Patterson and Tyler Algieri. So those are my picks for today, guys. It's slim pickings on the NBA, so I'm not going to have any other picks later on. So this is it. Best of luck. Let's get this effing sweep. Peace.